To answer questions about the bank's outlook, we speak to the man who knows it best. Anglo Irish Chief Executive Mike Aynsley joins me now from Dublin. Mr. Aynsley, thank you for joining us today. Now, the Irish Finance Minister has said that he's seeking finality here. It does come at a price, though. How much will this solution cost?
Well, we're still going through the process of calculating that with the central bank. As the Minister has already indicated, this process will go through until October, and we hope to have some numbers which will be the final estimates of the cost of what's gone on here.
Well, we know that the old split was due to cost about €25 billion. Is it likely to be more than that?
Well, we also know that there are some uncertainties, and of course part of the process we've gone through over the last couple of days is designed to remove many of them. We have a portfolio of assets. About half of them are transferring over to NAMA. There's 20 billion of those left. We've made some estimates around that. We've also made some estimates on the post-NAMA portfolio and what the impact of likely market behaviours is in the short term on that. The haircuts for NAMA will have some impact, as will the market over the remainder of the year. So, you know, it's not possible to entirely predict the exact numbers, but we feel that we're really at coming to the end of the process now, and we're not very far away from them. The 25 billion level is really, you know, a pretty good estimate at this stage, failing a major downturn in the market. However, there will be some adjustments to that for potential stress. You know, we've got to come up with numbers here that we're pretty confident we can hold to.
No, of course, it is that concern, isn't it, that you're not going to be able to hold to those numbers and that you can't predict an exact figure that's causing the market so much concern. At some point in October, are you going to be able to give us a final figure?
Look, it's you know, markets are markets, and whether it's a failed bank such as Anglo or any other bank that operates in a market, you know, the markets will behave in certain ways. And you know, what we know about the commercial real estate property market in Ireland, which is really the sector of almost total exposure for the bank, is that over the course of the last 2 years it's fallen dramatically. So we think at this stage that this market's bottoming out. The other aspect of our book is that we're pretty much spread across three geographic sectors. We've got Ireland, the UK and the US, and the markets in the US and the UK are obviously a lot more stable at this point. So, you know, we don't expect major downturns in those markets. The unknown and the uncertainty that we talk about is very much related to the Irish market. But again, we've looked at our book very carefully. We've brought a new team in that's done this over the last year. We're pretty confident that we've identified the major areas of impairment in the portfolio. We've taken provisions of some 54% in the impaired portfolio, and for Ireland the number is something like 61%. So, you know, we don't expect that we're going to see you know, major increases in a number, and this is one of the things that, you know, we said about the S&P numbers at 35. We can't really reconcile to those. We suspect that they're really you know, using some pretty severe stress scenarios on an overall basis to come up with them.
Now, have you been able to persuade investors not to keep withdrawing their deposits from the banks? There has been some concern that has actually been speeding up since the figure that we have for the end of the first quarter, or the end of the first half of the year.
Yeah, you know, uncertainty is something that investors don't like, and I think this is one of the very positive things about the move by the government in the last few days, that, you know, the certainty created by the funding bank, the isolation of depositors' funds, the continuance of the guarantee and the commitments by the Minister, you know, should give depositors, you know, all the confidence that their money is safe. Having said that, we do know that certain organisations require you know, under their trust deed to invest only with certain types of institutions. So, you know, we expect to see some outflow, But we do hope that will be limited, and people will understand, and they will see the moves that have taken place as designed to create more certainty, and certainly designed to demonstrate that the government is committed to stability in the markets.
But can you confirm that the rate of deposit withdrawals has slowed down, or has it in fact increased since the end of the first half?
Well, since the end of the first half, we've had a pretty volatile time in global markets, and there's been a lot of focus on Ireland. So we have seen some outflows. The last couple of days, with uncertainty as we're getting the message out around the guarantees, we've seen some outflows. But we think that it's sort of starting to settle down, which is very encouraging.
Now, there is a real concern within Ireland that it is possible that Anglo Irish Bank could topple the economy. Can you give us assurances that that's not possible?
Well, at this stage, it's the government really can best answer that, and I think I could point to the comments by the minister and comments by the central bank governor that they've looked very closely at the state's finances, and they believe the stresses that have brought these huge losses are manageable over time. So that's probably the only comment that I can make on it.
OK, Mike Aynsley of Anglo Irish Bank, thank you very much indeed for joining us.